Hi, I wanted to come on today and have a chat with you about resolutions. So obviously we are coming towards the end of the year, the end of the decade for that matter, and many of you I'm sure will be starting to think about your resolutions for 2020, and I just wanted to jump on and have a chat with you about setting those resolutions so that they are achievable and you can hit them, whatever goals you are setting for yourself. Before I get into that, let me introduce myself to those of you who don't know me. My name is Sue. I'm a personal trainer, a certified nutritionist, and an online health and wellness coach. And so, as you can imagine, I have come across many people on my travels who have set themselves some New Year's resolutions, and 2 or 3 months down the line, they are nowhere near achieving them. They've gone completely off track, and they are kicking themselves, frustrated with themselves, and feeling a little bit down about the fact that they're not working towards the goals that they've set for themselves. So I wanted to come on and talk to you about good ways to ensure that any resolutions you set for yourself happen. So the first thing I want to say is resolutions do not need to be made in January, of course. They can be made at any time of year. So if you have a goal in mind, whether it's in health, fitness, nutrition, business, relationships, life, whatever it may be, if you've got something that you want to change, you don't have to wait until January. I know we are really close to the end of the year, and I know lots of things are going on in people's lives at the moment, and maybe adding in something new, a new goal to work towards, isn't necessarily what's first and foremost in your mind. But nevertheless, if you have goals to hit, if you have change that you want to make, then we can start now, just with small steps heading in the right direction. We don't need to take great big leaps, and that's something I'll come on to in a moment. But there is nothing to stop you starting on your resolutions right here, right now. We often refer to New Year's resolutions, but resolutions, as I say, can be made at any time of the year. So coming back to change, coming back to this idea that you want to take small steps. One of the things we all fall foul of, and I have done it myself in the past, we've all been there, we've all got that t-shirt, is getting to January, because again, many years back, I would always wait till January to start my new resolutions. Things are different now, but many years ago, that's how I used to kickstart my year. And that's not to say I won't make any resolutions this coming January, but I'm now very aware that I can make them at any time of the year. So going back in time, I'd get to January, I'd be feeling sluggish, I'd be feeling overweight, I'd be feeling unfit, and I would say to myself, right, I am going to change. I'm going to get to the gym 5 times a week. I'm going to completely overhaul my diet. I'm going to cut out the alcohol completely. I'm going to make sure I drink my 2 to 3 litres of water every single day. I'm going to make sure I get more vegetables into my diet. And so it goes on. And that's just obviously basing it on a health, fitness or nutrition based goal. But if you've got goals in business, the same principle applies. We can't go into these things completely gung-ho. We need to step back from the big picture and break it down. So going in and committing myself to 5 workouts a week at the gym, to completely overhauling my diet, to completely cutting out alcohol. That is a huge ask on my body and my mind. So I would be far better to commit myself to, let's say, 2 workouts a week, and let's say reducing my alcohol consumption to just a couple of glasses of wine at the weekend, and let's say adding 1 extra portion of vegetables to my day, rather than, completely overhauling everything. So by making these small changes, it is far more achievable. And once we've got that new habit in place, so let's say, a month down the line, every single week I've managed to do my 2 workouts a week at the gym, I can then think to myself, brilliant, I've achieved that initial goal, let's ramp it up a level. And let's add in another workout a week. So now I'm up to 3 workouts a week. And maybe from the nutrition side of things, I start thinking about adding in the extra water, for example. So I've got another couple of smaller goals that I'm then working towards. I spend a few weeks establishing that new habit or those new habits, and then I can go again. So by this stage, we've probably got towards the end of February, the beginning of March, something like that. But now I have established pretty solidly a routine where I go to the gym 3 times a week. I'm adding more vegetables on my plate. I'm drinking more water, and I've reduced my alcohol consumption. And you can see now how that habit or those habits are now sustainable because I've built them up slowly, slowly, slowly. So that is another point to bear in mind. So firstly, you don't need to wait for January for your resolutions. You can change on any day of any week of any month. Secondly, if you have got goals that you want to hit, break them down into manageable chunks. I was listening to a podcast the other day and it talked about eating an elephant. How do you eat an elephant? You eat it 1 bite at a time. And that is exactly how you need to approach any goals that you are setting for yourself, as I said, in any area of your life. And the final point I need to make is if you are setting yourself goals, you need to be specific. There is no point just saying to yourself, I want to lose weight. How much weight do you want to lose? When do you want to lose that weight by? Now, if we're talking a large amount of weight, again, it needs to be broken down into smaller chunks. It's very, very overwhelming to say, I want to lose, for example, 3 stone in weight. That's really, really quite overwhelming and very daunting. But if we were to say, I want to lose a pound of weight this week and a pound of weight next week, and we gradually, 1 step at a time, the weight starts to come off. It's sustainable. It's going to stay off if it comes off slowly as well. So don't set yourself unachievable, daunting goals. Break the bigger goals down. The same can be said for fitness. Let's say, for example, your goal is to run a marathon. You can't just suddenly go out there and run 26 miles. You need to break it down. You need to get a training plan in place. You need to get a nutrition plan in place. You need to start by walking and jogging and walking and jogging and gradually building things up. So if you are thinking of making some changes to your life and you're thinking about what you're going to do in 2020, firstly, think about starting now. Just start small, make a few changes. It doesn't need to be drastic. Just start implementing a few changes now. And then when it gets to 2020, you can hit the ground running. Secondly, break your goals down into small chunks. And thirdly, be really specific about the goals you are setting for yourself. And if you'd like any guidance on any of that, any support, motivation, accountability, please feel free to get in touch. I would love to support you on your health and wellness journey.